we have Walter Schwarzone, or Schwar. I'm gonna put all his whole name together. Sorry, it's Schwarner, not Schwarzone. But Walter, we'll just call him Walter. Well, Walter with the Bully Boys. So Walter came back with the Bully Boys. He didn't bring the exact dispositions that I thought, he would, because I was like, well, is he gonna that I had thought he would from what other people had been doing, but he did do what we thought people might do, and he brought the Equatorial Horde, right? Boom, Equatorial Hordes with his Bully Boys. And when we talked about what Equatorial Hordes armies detachments are going to be good with it, Bully Boys was one of those, right? If you want to declare a WAAAGH, back-to-back WAAAGH, being able to cover that distance a little early might be something that gets you in there faster. So really cool to see. Let's take a look at how this list rolled out. And, of course, what's up to the live chat, whatever you guys got to say, too. I'll make sure I'll get back to you guys on that. But we have the Bully Boys with Equatorial Horde, starting off with one War Boss with his attached Breaker Boys unit, not too commonly seen, because people still feel like Breaker Boys are just low volume, right? They don't do the job they're supposed to. But there must be something to say about the War Boss's pure volume and just where he fit into this list by points and by virtue of the size of his unit or something to that degree, because he still fit this get on the list. And I think there is a place for at least one of these. They just don't feel as good when they don't have access to like sustain or whatever. Next is a 10-man unit of Beast Snagger Boys with another 10-man unit of Beast Snagger Boys with their Beast Boss leaders for attached unit 2 and 3. I'm automatically assuming those are going inside the trucks, and then those units can act as scouting units. So the truck can move up the field. The truck can actually end up not being on the field and then being brought onto the field during the scout phase, because it can do everything that a scouting unit can do if it's a designated transport and has acquired the scout keyword for that. So you can use this as I'm going to move this truck forward. Being able to stage up this guy, be hyper aggressive, or get in a skirmish might be the factor there, or just being able to counter the enemy's deployment by taking one of these trucks, hunting down the enemy's favorite tank, and then during the scouting phase of your deployment step, you bring the truck from reserves and then put it somewhere in the field. So then we have unit attached 4. We have a War Boss and Mega Armor with the Telepota with 5 Mega Knobs with twin kill saws. So people ask me all the time, Power Claw, Kill Saw, what do you think? All I know is when you're strength 12 or 13, you're generally wounding almost everything in the game on 2s and 3s. And then when you're twin linked, that means you're converting almost every single wound that hit becomes a wound, right? So even though you generally do lack volume for Meganoms, and I agree on that, and it's one of the most frustrating things that you'll deal with, the one thing that should give you hope or happiness is, say you get 12, 15 hits on your Meganobs, just know you're likely to get just as many wounds at 12 or 15 wounds also, right? So yeah, twin kill saws, I still take them. Plus there's still targets out there that have good armor, and then they have armor of contempt, stuff like that. So I'm a big twin kill saw fan. I might not get as many hits as I want or punches as I want, but I convert all of the wounds and all of them are AP -3. Then for attached unit number 5, he has a big old brick of Mazrog Scrag Bag with his pigs all over again. So we just seen it in the hunt with the big brick of pigs and Maz. We've seen him in Freebooter Crew bringing solo Mazes, a bunch of stuff like that. So Maz is making his appearance. Don't sleep on Maz. He's still finding his way into the game. 125 points must be enough for him to have found his way onto the field. Not to mention his fight on death, I guess, must feel a little bit nice for these pigs when normally most of them can't even get into the fight, right? Got WAAAGH Gutsmack, awesome addition to anything, especially when he has access to the wall twice. In theory, I think he's War Boss, right? I want to check that. I'm assuming he is. Chat, you can check for me, or I'll double check right now. But either way, the speed that he gets is just helps with everything else that you're doing here with the scouting and the double wall and his damage that he brings. 2 trucks, like I said, most likely for the beast bosses, but there's a chance that one of those trucks holds the 10-man flash gate unit, and then you're just scouting the Snagger Boys and the beast bosses on foot on their own, and letting the 10-man flash kit unit go in the truck, or the 10-man unit of flash kit is going in reserve. So one or the other. Not necessarily sure, but that's why it's nice to have those options. WAAAGH does not have the War Boss keyword. Yeah, thanks, chat's telling me right now that too. Yeah, I was looking at it too right now. See, but yeah, he doesn't. I remember that where we were all super ashamed and confused. Like, why doesn't WAAAGH have War Boss keyword? That's super weird. It is very weird. So moving on to 2 trucks, 10 flash kits, 1 Gretchen. Then this is something I've brought up so much. I'm so happy to see it right now. Is never forget that you can simply not take leaders on your Mega Knob units when you're playing Bully Boys. You can save the points because you already know that your stratagems are almost exclusively, I guess not because you have Equatorial Horde. So Maz is a war boss, by the way. Yes. You can use strats now because Equatorial Horde, you can deliver snaggers and stuff, but the majority of the time you're going to be using your strats on your Mega Knob type units, your knob keyword units, which means you're going to like re-rolling hits, you're going to use mortal wound something, armor stuff like that, armor contempt. So your Mega Knobs not having a war boss, for example, keeps them nice and cheap. They're going to have their feel no pain still. They're going to have double wall access, and you're going to let them re-roll hits. So the Mega Knobs are going to get in fights earlier. They can draw more interactions from enemies and that first wall. And then on the second wall that you get that's exclusive to Bully Boys units, you can bring in all your leaders-led units. So I absolutely love Mega Knobs that don't have a character leading them in your Bully Boys. It's a great way to bring cheaper units that are part of the detachments, and they still get to use all the strats and everything, and they still feel pretty good. So I'm into it. I've done this plenty of times, and I'm totally for it. Double Mega Knobs. And in this case, as we always say, you could use trucks to have like a unit in them. The unit disembarks, gets out, runs forward, someone else gets in it, and then it runs forward. So there's a chance people did that too. Not sure, but keep it in mind as a way to get around, because you're really not that fast as you're moving these things up the field, and you're not that tough either. So this army seems like a lot of staging, which is why it makes sense why he was playing Equatorial Horde to like kind of move up quicker, which makes sense. And most people are going to be playing Purge when they do this, which is exactly what he did too. And just, chat also responded to me, and they said that WAAAGH most likely is a Big Mac according to lore, and I think you guys are right, so thank you. And Maz is a war boss according to lore, and he has a war boss keyword, so that all tracks. Before we jump back into the video, transporting a full Warhammer army, especially an Orc Horde, can be a battle in itself. The oTTRPGo large magnetic miniature carrying case is built to carrying armies over 3,000 points with adjustable metal trays to give you room for everything from boys to vehicles and your biggest centerpiece gets. Once your bases are magnetized, your model stays secured to the trays without being packed within foam. And because a massive army gets heavy fast, the case includes a detachable trolley handle and wheels, so you can roll the wall into your local battle. Check it out using my affiliate link in the description. It helps support WAAAGH tactics at no additional cost to you. Protect your models, save your backs, and roll into the next call of the wall. So here he is, third place, lost his third game. But let's go through his path to victory with Walter's unusual Bully Boys list. He went into a Space Wolf Stormlands task force. We have Logan Grimnar with 5 big brick Terminator bricks, sorry. Chaplain on bike with some Outriders, Bjorn the Fellhaven, and Murder Fang. So he's bringing double epic little square box lunch boxes. We have Assault lunchbox for Maz. Assault jump pack intercessors, some Finn Regional, some infiltrators, Invader ATV, another Outrider, double minimum size unit of cavalry, a Venerable Dreadnought, and then double Wolf Scouts with 2 Wolfen with Storm Shields. So I do like this for the most part on the matchup, because like something, for example, Thunderwolf Calves don't hit necessarily that great into high toughness Meganob type units or Squigs either. And being able to run up and get into the first fights and altercations to put Space Wolves on their back foot does matter. Snaggers have at least decent targets when you see how many lunch boxes they have that they can go into, lunchbox dreadnoughts, or just the Outriders themselves. I do like Snaggers for this because now they'll be strength 6. The volume of punches helps. They don't have great AP. armor on those Outriders, and on the interrupt, it wouldn't be that good if you charge them first. It wouldn't be that painful to you. And then in response, usually everything that you're fighting with them, for example, like I mentioned earlier with Thunderwolf Cav, they're T6, 4-up invuln. Normally they're riding on their toughness and their invuln combo. When you put Mega Knobs into them and you're like, oh, I'm just re-roll the hit roll, and then I'm also wounding you on 2s, and I'm re-rolling the wound roll. Here you go, eat 10 to 12 saves. They fill half of those or more. You know, they can lose half. They can use 2 to 3 or all 3 of their actual little bases on their little 3-man unit. So if you do that to 2 of their units, then the units are kind of useless as 1-man units. I think we just have too much meat on there and kind of pull them apart whenever I've played that Bully Boys matchup into them. The only thing here that was the only difference for me is that not having gas. But you do have Maz Pigs, and you do have a big old WAAAGH Guts mech, so I guess that works out. Then he goes into his second game. I think I got the list pulled up. Let me pull up on BCP. So he goes into the second game, which is against Chaos Knights. We have a Crassus Knight, a Knight Despoiler combo with 2 of them, a Brigand, a Carnivore, a Stalker, Double Beast of Nurgles, a Nurgling, and then a unit of Plague Bears. This is one of those where I like the scouting ability, because one, you still have the stupid Nurglings that they're going to be on the field, or Plague Bears that might try to come and get the initiative from you. But you also have the ability, if it's not played that way and the enemy just goes straight forward, you can start using your Snagaboy units to destroying these little these little war dogs. Then when the enemy responds to those with their bigger knights, that's when you can pull in all the actual big stuff of your Mega Knobs, because you need something to draw attention away from the pig units, the big brick of Maz and the pigs, or he's going in reserve every single game because he's too big, and then you're bringing him down during your initial wall, and then he comes in and hits people during the second wall, because at least on the initial wall he has his invuln. People are not going to deal with him when they're dealing with the example, the Mega Knob units that don't have leaders already in their face, what we talked about. And not to mention, he does at least have the flash kits, which would help with stalkers, and then WAAAGH as well helped with those. So him being able to run forward because of the scouting, because of the shooting, because of the WAAAGH and the Mega Knobs in trucks, there's a chance that he can actually make contact with the enemy if they do come forward a little too committal early, like turn 2 wall, and then make contact with some of those units, kind of skirmishy, and then second wall, bring in pigs, bring in more Mega Knob, put the rapid ingress, bring in Breaker Boys, and then continue that momentum. So I really like that. I do question, the only thing I question is his Breaker Boy unit, you know? And then he goes into his third game. So this is the game he actually lost, which is into the Emperor's Children. So I totally understand this one. If you're he's playing Reconnaissance though, and these guys are really fast, and that sucks when you're playing Bully Boys or any kind of orc and they can come get the initiative on you. And like we said already, his units aren't necessarily that tough. So he has Keeper of Secrets, Lord Exalteds, 2 of them, triple Demonettes, double Infractors, double Tormentors, a Chaos Rhino, Chaos Spawn, double Defilers, and some Fiends. So he has shooting, he has advanced in charging combos, he has -1 to hit keepers and everything like that he has to deal with. And the only thing you can do is reroll hits, which are only going to apply to Mega Knobs, which has low volume here. So the scouting Snagaboys, I don't know, like I said, if he's using trucks or not, but nonetheless, him being able to actually make contact with those units fast, and demon heads that help, you know, wrap and trap them or stop them when they try to disembark, flash kits, being able to having to be used on those kind of units instead of their ideal targets would be harder. And then everything else being able to quickly run down, fight, shoot, charge, kill, means that you quickly would be stuck with like half Mega Knob units and then a unit of pigs, while you still have these defilers that are fast, combined arms that don't have any threat of being shot at, like some of the other lists we went over tonight, where they have tank busters or combination of different kind of shooting units that I can help drag them down. In this case, they don't. They can just lay into your, like, these early Mega Knob units that don't have leaders, and I can see how this could be a tough matchup. So, like I always say, if you're playing one of these hyper aggro orc units, if it's the pigs or the bully boys, if the enemy can take the initiative from you, whether it's from deep ingresses or extreme speed, it's immediately a hard matchup, and then that can not go your way. The enemy seem to get 100 points into this matchup also when we look at this on BCP, right? So then he goes into his fourth game, when he comes back with vengeance, he goes into the Tau Empire with Monka. So real quick, because they have a lot of units. Farsight, Sunforge battle suits, Cold Star with some battle suits, double Condre Fireblaze, a double Breacher squads, double Devilfish, Starsight suit, 2 Hammerhead gunships, double Pathfinders, Riptide, stealth battle suits. So from what I've heard, Equatorial does seem to do good into Tau. You run up, you take up that little bit of space they like. You can get those fight skirmishes off real quick to start picking up their little trash units, whether it's stealths or Pathfinders or was it piranhas and stuff like that. So risking the Devilfish as well. They're too aggressive with that, so their breachers can't get out. You do have to worry though, because they're usually fast enough to get on your Snagger Boys too. So I'm not sure how you use them yet. But if you went first into them, you can cover that distance, bring down the ingress while charging to them. I don't see like that outstanding damage that they typically would bring. That I'd be scared of. I guess it's because they don't have a bunch of Triptides. They have all they do. They have double Riptides. I lied. Yeah, but this much aggression typically does all right into Tau from what I've seen. And it's one of those early game type of things. So Equatorial being able to be like, no, I'm going to get into your fights. Let's go. Awesome to see it actually paying off there, because he got a big 95-point win into that one, or 98-point win. And then we go into his last game, which this one was a 95-point win, which was into Aeldari, another army playing recon that is just fast, right? And so we have Farseer, 6 units of troops, triple fire prisms, a ranger, double shroud runners, Skyweavers, 6 star weavers, and then double war walkers. So a bunch of just small MSU units all over the field. He's playing Purge, right? And like I've said before, when you have that much wall and you're these big of units, you just kind of run around and just be like, okay, you're there, run through you, consolidate to the next thing, another thing there, run through you, keep doing it. So they're not going to be doing enough damage while they're being that skirmishy, right? A bunch of small activations. So pretty awesome to see with this much meat on the list. And this is one of those matchups that I might presume that the Snagger Boys are in the trucks and the Flatchets are reserves or something like that. And then the Squigs are on the actual field so they can just run through enemies, because nothing here is too threatening besides those fire prisms, and they can't kill everything, right? So 95-point win there. So awesome to see. Great job by the Bully Boys. Interesting about the War Boss with the Breaker Boys. I mean, I guess it's just the points thing. It is what it is. We got all these units with twin kill saws. Snagger Boys making their ways on the list with the Equatorial Horde supporting the Bully Boys in this one, and then a big old unit of pigs still being used. So that being said, really happy to see the results. Hyper aggression still has its play. Shooting, running up in people's face is nice, but being a good old-fashioned Bully Boy still has his teeth. Being mean and green is still good for the team. So awesome to see, Walter, and congratulations.
If you enjoyed the clip, check out the full video here. If you'd like to see more tactics, click here.
Let's get stuck in, lads!